Hello, and welcome to another session of Gotham by Night, titled The Night Never Sleeps. This scene takes place one night after the incident that just happened. Our first scene takes us to the Invictus Vampire Court of Gotham City. There is a particular individual who has called a meeting with the prince and a few of the other higher ups. He wishes to have a conversation. That person's car is now arriving at the Invictus Elysium, a grand hotel with a very large clock tower in the middle, one of the grandest in Gotham City. Our scene now takes us away to the arrival of Mr. Hightower.
Hightower arrives with his car. Is there a valet?
Yes, there is.
He throws the keys and says, "You can park at the best place ever." Not anything
Yes,
else.
yes, sir. You look up and you can see a very vast, large, extremely fancy hotel, about 3 or 4 levels. Actually, six total if you count the clock tower. And it's pretty vast. It actually takes up a pretty good chunk of the block you're on. Very high quality, very high up there. And you can see that there is a lot of people and vampires kind of moving around in this area.
Nathaniel actually brought a gift to the prince as well.
Mm-hmm. What did you bring?
It is a ornate, handmade sword that's got from Syria because Syrian metal is the best metal in the world,
Mm-hmm.
according to Supernatural and weird DC Universe ones. And basically, what was the name? The scales. You know, like in America there is this the symbol of justice,
Mm-hmm.
holding scales and sword. Basically, the prince is the one who gives the justice and the the highest ranking member of the city, who he holds the sword and the scales. So he basically gives him a gift of scales and sword. It's a bit of a symbolic. Hope he hopes the prince is will appreciate it.
Very nice. Do you proceed on into Elysium?
He does.
Alrighty.
He starts walking and basically looking around.
You look around, and it seems like everyone's kind of busy doing their own thing, socializing, whatnot. However, there is a couple eyes that obviously focus on you, and you get the feeling that a lot of the vampires here, although they look like they're socializing, they're actually not. They're actually keeping watch at. You can see a few well planted individuals that look as if though they are looking at you with auspex or other things.
The Nathaniel doesn't give a shit. They can learn what they want to learn about him. He smiles if there's a someone that he knows from his past. He will even like nod. If there is like a beautiful person, he will wink.
There are no one you really know from your past, but there are a few high ups you know from the overall vampires of Gotham City. Like you can see a couple, noticeable names here or there. Or do you wish to speak with any of them, or go straight to the elevator to the prince?
He needs to go to the prince first because it would be
Okay.
rude to meet with anyone else.
You head to the elevator, press the button, go to the top of the sixth floor. Prince's office is in the grand clock tower, up above, watching over the city. Fitting, I suppose. You take the long elevator ride up. The kind of green, eerie light from the clock tower light kind of shines down through some of the bars. It's a very almost noir feel. You get to the top room, and the hallways uh, painted in almost a very bluish green kind of jade, like the hallway and walls itself are marble, and it's all kind of wrapping around. And there's only one room on this floor. You see a pair of double black doors off to your left, which you know to be the prince's office.
he, if there's a door, he will knock. If there isn't, he will go near the prince.
There's a door, so you will knock. You hear a voice come from inside. Come in.
He will enter.
And this is what the prince looks like. And actually, the windows behind him are pretty much exactly how his windows are in his office.
Nathaniel moves forward and he will bow.
Prince gives a nod himself, and he's like, Nathaniel Hightower. Nice to see you. Believe it or not, we've only met once, but it was a brief encounter. But it's a pleasure to finally meet you properly. How have you been?
I am sad to bring you news of the demise of my sire, my prince. We have
Oh,
met.
that one. Yes, truly a tragedy.
It is a tragedy. We have met when my sire first embraced me after she asked your permission. But I'm back at the city, and I wanted to pay my respects to you and give you this gift.
Oh my. He kind of looks at it, takes it, unwraps it if it's wrapped, or unclaws it.
The It is the resources, like like he has resources. Five, he has a lot of money. He didn't like say like, yeah, this is too expensive. He bought what he would have enjoyed seeing if he was a prince. He doesn't know the prince that well, but he bought
Mhm.
something shiny and he bought like something symbolic
Yeah.
that he is the man.
So he looks it over and is very thoroughly impressed. Does it have a sheath?
It does.
He'll actually pull it out and like look at it. He seems rather impressed by it, and he says, "Oh, Mr. Hightower, this was very unnecessary, but I graciously accept. Craftsmanship on this is quite good." And he starts looking down the blade, and he actually looks like he knows a little bit about swords. He sheathes it, and he puts it over. He starts looking for a place next to his desk, and you find this kind of empty slot near his wall where a couple other swords are, and there's some pins there, and he rests it onto the pins, and it looks real nice. And you can tell that he's actually got a few other collections. You can go ahead and make me a wits plus composure to see if you notice what the other swords are.
Okay. Um, about to roll. My wits is not that high, but I think my composure is high. Yeah, I
You can
have
add
five
You can add
stuff.
aspects if you like.
Ah, thank you, thank you. I will enter right now. I have 7 dice in this, and I got tr-
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
geez.
know.
Um, he's got quite the collection. It seems like he's also got collection of swords from a lot of different eras. On next to the sword you have given him, there is a what looks like authentic Japanese katana. Down below that, there is what seems to be Civil War cavalry saber. Next to that is apparently a Persian scimitar, and then next to that one is a Polish scimitar, because there is a distinguished difference.
Yeah, I love Polish sabers and scimitars also.
There is also down below what looks to be a very very old sword. It seems to be a bit more worn out than the other ones, but this one looks like it's from maybe rough estimate, maybe medieval times or maybe earlier.
The After he gives the gift, it was a tribute to the leader of the city. After all, you are our prince, and you watch the rules and make decisions, my prince.
Well, thank you very much. I'll owe you something for this. Believe me. He sets the scale. He sets the scale on his desk, and he actually sets it up to where it's actually on his desk. And you notice now that on each corner of his desk, he has a scale.
Hmm.
Yours and another one.
I come back to the city after my sire's demise, and there's a lot of problems I saw.
Indeed, there are a lot of problems in Gotham City, my boy. I've only just recently actually managed to start making some leeway since our last prince was a bit of a, well, he
Douche
decided she was transferred to Metropolis.
Well, we know what does it mean to transferred. As he's like transferred, he means that as though like like to Metropolis. We know what that means.
Mm. She was incapable of doing her duties to the city as its prince. So it was ruled that she step down, and she did so willingly.
Hmm. The I have seen. I haven't met with a lot of individuals, but I think the old prince was quite popular among the old-minded. Like, no, I'm not going to say old-minded, but I should say more traditional leanings.
Indeed, she was so traditionalist that she often saw problems in front of her that she would never fix, never act upon, because she felt that the traditions were the way to go. Well, I am a man of tradition myself, but when you have a problem, you have to fix it, my boy. You can't just stand there and look at it.
Yes,
Sometimes you have to get your hands dirty.
watching problems grow is a lazy people's attitude.
Well, yes. But if that's the case, it's a good thing we've got a strapping young one like yourself. Help us fix the problems in this city.
That will be the case, yes. I'm trying to meet with new bloods, old bloods, and individuals of power. But I firstly wanted to meet you directly to extend my tribute and also at the same time to understand what is needed out of me by the Invictus and our prince.
Well, Mr. Hightower, what is needed of you is what would be needed in most any other city. However, in this city in particular, we have a most recent problem, and I've actually assigned a few on it, and it's coming to a close, and this problem will be dealt with very soon, and there will be more problems afterwards, but our biggest problem should be solved fairly soon.
The Riddler.
Yes, I imagine you and your colleagues have had your hands full. I've been watching.
I was not in the field, but I was in background, where I usually prefer to be.
Indeed. Speaking of which, Mr. Hightower, someone was asking for you. They didn't say who they were, but they left this letter. I've looked it over. There appears to be no foul play, but they left it for you. They followed all the code and procedures.
What did this individual look like?
This individual had flat brown, blackish hair, a little bit of a beard and goatee going on. I would say mid 30s to late 30s, probably early 40s. He was not a kindred of us. However, he was associated with a couple of our highest up members, so he was treated with a bit of respect. It was claimed that he was bloodbound to someone.
A ghoul looking for me.
So it seems.
Strange. I don't have a lot of ghouls. May I look at the letter?
Of course you may. It's your letter.
Hmm. He checks it.
Check it. There's nothing devious about it. It is sealed, so
And he will open it.
you open it up, and it says, Nathaniel Hightower. It is high time you paid me what is due, and what you have owed, what you have given to me by your word. Meet me at the old Gotham Hospital in 2 nights' time. We will discuss how you will repay me there. And there's a small address on the bottom.
Hmm. It's about reclaiming, a payment that I.
Ah, made some deals, did you?
He smiles, doesn't say anything. Like he just gives that like nod and smile. Um, the city, from what I understand and heard, has a lot of old traditional individuals as well.
Indeed. Some of them have been rather beneficial to our kind moving forward, and others have been a burden that has had to been taken care of.
Does burdens needs to be relieved?
Some of these burdens need the true death.
Nathaniel like, kind of gives him a look of like, say no more.
Indeed, I do not particularly like doing that. It's just bad business, but you have to do what you have to do sometimes. It's at this point that he pulls out a cigar and lights it, and nothing seems to phase him.
Nathaniel looks at him and says, "This can be arranged."
I imagine it can. I may have something for you to do. Your associates, Mistress Tatiana and Creed, are already been giving assignments by me, but I may have something for you specifically. If you do it, I might owe you a minor boon. What do you say?
The grown men don't need boons.
What would you like then?
I don't know what I need to do. Then I hear what I need to do. I think we can completely discuss about what
Ah,
I can receive.
a true businessman. Nice to see one of these kind around. All right. Well, I need you to do a little bit of asking around Elysium. Maybe not tonight, but in the future. I want you to do the socialize thing. Get around and. I would like you to ask about a specific individual. One on the streets who has been dealing with a narcotic called Venom. The only name he's known by is Bane. I would like you to start asking around about this individual. He may become a problem in the future that we need to deal with.
He nods. There was another thing I think would may be in your interest, my prince.
Go on.
People doesn't know me that well. I know my sire, but I tend to keep my things in private most of the time. A lot of people use these weird internet, Instagram, Twitter, or whatever. But I don't use those things. I don't find them quite healthy for our kind. If nobody knows
I,
me,
right.
then I don't think anyone knows where my loyalties lie. He he has a pen in his hand, and he like puts the like he holds the pen in one pen to one side, and then he says, "Someone can seem like he is in one side while as he gets the pen in another hand, while they can work for another."
What are you suggesting, Mr. Hightower?
Well, I myself are known, but I think I am good at socializing and saying things that's like people wouldn't find rude but get the message.
It's why I have a good defense attorney.
I think that's the more we know about these individuals who talks badly, the more it would be in our interest to continue. To be honest, I just want to say that we should know more about what our rivals may do. Therefore, how about I start speaking a bit friendlyish while you know who where my loyalties lie? He smiles, especially where I
All right,
plan to do things with Mistress Tatiana.
all right, Mr. Hightower, I'm game. We'll play. We
He
will
smiles.
play. If you
Well,
will, sorry, if you will excuse me, Mr. Hightower, I have another meeting I have to attend to at the moment.
well, he
Something
gets up.
came up this morning. Something came up this morning, and it's unfortunately very poor. Tell me, would you like to help yourself to a glass of some of the best blood wine you'll ever have?
I will have it in downstairs if you are okay with it, of course, my prince.
Of course. Go to the barkeep, and he tosses you a little coin, and you look at the coin, and the coin is solid gold. It almost looks to be from the Tortuga pirate era.
Tortuga, a good place to live.
Indeed, it was. Give that to the barkeep, and believe me, you will get some of the best blood wine you've ever had. And it lasts. The sisters over there at their circle have done some impressive work on this one.
Thank you, my prince. You're most kind, he says,
Of course.
smiles, and slowly leaves.
He says, "Oh, and Mr. Hightower, before you go,
He
watch
looks.
watch the shadows." And then he just goes back to looking out over Gotham City.
He'll start watching shadows while he leaves.
You have Auspex too, right?
Yes,
Roll me a wits plus composure plus Auspex.
I'm gonna spend that willpower.
Sure.
I got two.
Got 2?
10 is like I think I don't know if it's like
Yes. You're right. You notice that you didn't notice before that there are 2 guards outside the door, obfuscated.
Daniel doesn't say anything. It's like, oh, well, I guess. There are guards. It seems cool.
And as
Yeah,
Mr. Hightower leaves to take the elevator downstairs, it's at this point that Prince Jonathan Thomas picks up the phone and makes a phone call. Frank, your business phone rings.
Frank leaves it for just a single second and then responds. Sorry, what was that? Did someone just say something? Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you, man, but I don't know about others.
Because it just sort of cut out. I heard somebody say something. Okay.
Sorry, I had to step away there for a moment. What did you say?
Frank leaves it for a moment before picking it up. He checks exactly who is calling first.
Mr. Jonathan Thomas, one of your most high-paying clients.
Oh, joy. He answers the phone call immediately, and he puts on his winning smile and winning charm, and simply says, Mr. Thomas, how may I help you today?
Yes, Frank. Excellent to hear your voice again. How have you been? I may need some more services from you.
Quite well, of course. May I ask when we might be able to meet?
Oh, we can meet right now if you like.
Certainly. I'll fetch the car.
I'll see you here.
He hangs up, collects his briefcase, gets in the car, drives over to, well, his abode, or at least where the meeting is going to be.
A very nice hotel with a grand clock tower in it. Same description as earlier.
Indeed. It's likely that Frank's been here before, yeah?
Yes.
So, out of character, would he have noticed anything objectively supernatural about the place?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, just he is quite calm because he just quite casually enters in. Doesn't seem to look around much. Doesn't seem to. He gives off like an aura of almost nondescriptness, as though he fades into the background.
Mhm. You walk by an interesting individual, Nathaniel and Frank. You guys pass past each other very briefly.
Frank does give a polite nod, but he is, of course, here to see the prince, and of course, one doesn't want to keep him waiting.
And Daniel gives him a wink.
Oh my. So, getting in the elevator, going up to the top floor. Yeah.
You go off to the right where you see the 2 big black doors and you see the very familiar prince's office. Now with 2 scales on his desk rather than 1.
Noticing this but not commenting on it, he just nods and says, "So, Mr. Thomas, how may I help you today?"
Frankie, good to see you again. He comes up and shakes your hand. Sit down. Let's have a little discussion.
Certainly.
Some wine, gin, rum,
A glass of water, please.
of
Perhaps.
course. Gets you a glass of water, sets it down. Now then, I had the very unfortunate process of running into some poor individuals who had the audacity to start to decorate my car with their, what do the kids call it nowadays? Artwork.
Ah,
So I promptly asked them to stop, and well, they just wouldn't listen. So, I had to forcibly remove them off of my car, and now they are attempting to try to file a lawsuit against me.
by what means did you forcibly remove them, Mr. Thomas?
Well, they decided to spray their spray paint cans at me, and so I gently picked them up by the sleeves of the shirts and set them onto the ground. Frank, in all of your years as being attorney, you can kind of tell he's bullshitting about how gentle he was.
Mr. Thomas, I'm sure that you were most gentle, of course, but perhaps they might have misrepresented and misunderstood just how gentle you were being, perhaps.
Perhaps they did. But nonetheless, I will probably need your services again. You did such a good job the last time.
Of course, sir. Though there is a slight matter that uh, my retainer fee has gone slightly up since last time due to a certain, well, should we say, need for my services amongst certain un well, unlikable people.
I hope you're not referring to me, Mr. Shadow.
Oh, of course not, sir. Perish the thought.
Well,
He doesn't
that's
actually laugh. His face is quite sort of like stony face. He's very sort of um like there's a smirk, but like there's no laughter. There's no like actual show of amusement.
he kind of looks at you and he says, "That sounds fair. I can pay your price
Good. And how quickly exactly would you like me to take care of it?
as soon as possible. I'm a very busy man nowadays, with all the new businesses open up, with the new expansion coming up. Not to
Oh, of
mention, did you
course.
hear that they're going to make another museum, this time in the new downtown Gotham? We've got 3 museums in the city now: an old one that no one uses, the Classic History Museum, and now another one.
Hmm. my I personally have found myself to enjoy museums, but of course not when they're everywhere.
Most people don't even do night activities anymore with all the Riddler scare stuff going on.
I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar. I've been out of the city for a little bit. What's been happening?
Apparently, a masked vigilante known as the Riddler has been going around kidnapping people off the streets. Yeah,
Interesting.
definitely.
Well, I'll certainly have to be careful on my way home.
Indeed, watch the shadows. No pun intended, Frank.
Yes, of course, yes. Just one second, actually. Just quickly looking up a role for something. Yeah. One sec. Sorry. This is what I dislike about the Demon Core book. It is just badly laid out in terms of bookmarks.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna use Heart's Desire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm essentially trying to find out exactly what else he might desire, what else he might want. Anything, of course, that I could use to then perhaps ingratiate myself at a later date and perhaps earn a favor.
All right. What does he have to roll, or is it just a minus?
It's what's his composure?
His composure is 4.
Okay, what the? Okay, apparently I'm having a spot of bother with my character sheet. Give me a moment. Got it. 4, did you say?
Yes, 4.
Okay. Rolling, going to spend a willpower. That's a 10.
Why'd you only
Yeah,
roll 4 dice if you spent a willpower?
because it was reduced to 1.
Oh, okay. Um, okay, 2 hits. That's actually pretty good. That's enough to pop it.
Yeah. Essentially, I'm just trying to find out one of his aspirations.
One of his aspirations, probably the first one you notice, is he really wants to get rid of these gangs of Gotham City, like the Jokers, the Scarecrows, Bane's Goons, the Riddler gang. He just wants to completely clear them all out. That is his biggest goal, ambition, and aspiration.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he's going to finish his drink of water, and just shake the delightfully pleasant man's hand.
You notice he's got a pretty strong grip, although he's always had a
I
strong grip.
was counting on it. Yes. Is there anyone else? Is there anything else you need me to take care of while I'm here? Arrange any more purchase orders? Arrange for legal loopholes of another nature?
Nothing at the moment. Just help yourself to some of the best food you'll ever have downstairs. We just had a nice little banquet, so to speak. Please help yourself on the way out.
I shall have to. Do take care.
Do take care, Mr. Shea.
He he walks out with his briefcase and just makes his way to dear old. Well, he gets some food from the banquet from the delightfully offered food, presumably decent enough.
Oh, it's very decent. This is like, if in terms of if we were talking burgers, this would be like $35 burger status.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Jeez, that seems mighty excessive.
There's a woman you briefly brush by
Mm.
as you exit the elevator as she's going around the corner. That's all you really seem to notice of her.
Is she going into the office of the man? Of Thomas?
No, she's going around back toward the stairwell.
Do I notice anything odd about her?
Would you make me a wits composure roll, please?
Okay. Two. Oh wait, it is 8 for Chronicles, yeah? Difficulty?
Yeah.
Cool.
You look up at the corner of the elevator. Very oddly enough, you see a spider web.
Strange. Very, very strange. Uh, is there anything else that I passed by on my way out?
Yes, there's one more individual you pass. a rather hulking behemoth of a man who kind of walks by you. Kind of looks at you, Frank, almost like he's going to do something, and then he raises an eyebrow and then remembers, and then nods. Says, "Ah, Mr. Shadow, good to see you again. David, I work with the good man upstairs, if you know what I mean."
Yes, I'm. Yes, I think I've seen you around before,
Yeah.
somewhere.
Well, I mean, hey, man of that stature needs protection, you know.
Of course. And Mr. Thomas
Say,
is such. Go ahead.
by the way, I saw your case file stuff on that last little thing you did for the boss.
Yes.
Pretty impressive.
Well, I'm good at what I do.
He slowly starts to kind of squint his eyes. Yeah, you are.
Is
Well,
there something that you'd like to ask me?
no,
Or
no, not at all, Frank. Have a good night.
do take care.
Take care.
Point of interest, what's his composure? Just point of interest.
His composure is two.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm half tempted to roll Heart's Desire.
Go ahead and do it, because you'll find something interesting out if you win.
Yeah, okay. Plus 3. Three.
Oh, wow. His greatest desire is to hunt something more powerful than him.
This is gonna go badly. Okay, so he walks out. He just sort of like smiles to himself as he makes his way to his car, gets the valet to get his car back, and he waits outside, smokes a cigarette, and presumably, if nothing else happens, gets in the car and drives to his office.
All right. Let's go ahead and take the scene to where would Harris, Tatiana, and Andrew like to meet up?
What exactly are we doing?
There will be a little social for you guys. It just depends on where you guys want to meet up.
Well, I don't know. Last time I saw Harris was in my car and he was wasted.
No thanks, Creed.
Don't remember that.
No thanks to your brother.
I mean, of course, thanks to my brother. I don't know, because the club isn't open yet. So I know that I've seen Zillik before at the museum, so I could be at the museum.
Okay, any characters that wish to be at the museum may be there, if you wish, or if you wish to drive it, whatever. For whatever reason you wish to go to the museum, that is one you can. I know Andrew would definitely be interested in going to the museum again, and I imagine Harris, after seeing that last incident, might actually want to go there as well.
Sure.
Okay. So I'll say, for the purposes of tonight, you meet up at Gotham Museum of Natural History, a rather marvel of engineering. Probably the oldest standing in use building in Gotham City today, although it has been renovated and changed and occasionally modified. It still holds the original infrastructure, a lot of the old citizens of Gotham City. It is a marvel to behold. Rather large museum, one of the biggest on the East Coast. Recently closed, but now open again after a unfortunate gang attack that happened about almost a month ago now. Rather unfortunate incident. A new exhibit has opened up in the museum. a exhibit based around the Tortuga era of piracy. A lot of new implements have come in: swords, guns, old pieces of ship, a lot of history. They've taken a whole hallway and developed a kind of a mural on the walls and wrapped it around of history of the era from 1715 onward, or a little bit before as well. There are some fairly decent, important bidders that show up at the museum because it's a high up museum. There's no fee to get in per se, but it's class. It's a museum. What do you expect? There are some very valuable pieces here as well. Tatiana, you notice that as you're going around and you're looking at the museum, is there a character you wish to meet, or are you just here on social time?
I mean, I'm often there for one reason or another.
You notice Mr. Zillick and Mr. Harris walking around. You guys eventually notice each other. Do Mr.
Are
Hyde
they together or separate?
probably separate.
I would assume Harris looks like a fish out of water, of course.
No, you actually look a lot better now. You haven't
Oh, that's
been
great. Awesome.
you haven't been massively wasted. You were given money. You were given a job, so your
Oh,
clothing is
wow.
better. You're washed. You're cleaned, and even though last time you were shit faced, you know Rachel's not going to have you stand in that bar, with whatnot. By the way, for William and Harris, Rachel has now come back after being disappeared for about a week. She has
Okay.
not held any sort of hatred towards you, Harris, but she's not going to let you stay in her house, dirty. She is going to make you wash it, and she does,
Okay.
by force if necessary.
All right. That's a little scary, but I guess I will accommodate her if she's letting me stay. So yeah.
Tatiana, you do see Harris well clean, and you see Mr. Zillick as well.
Okay, I'm going to approach Mr. Zillick, whom I know better.
Gonna have to back out. Actually, I'm passing out.
All right, no worries.
So,
Great.
sorry.
Just disappears into the shadows, like woo.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to approach Mr. Zillick, whom I know better.
No
I'm
worries.
going to approach Mr. Harris, who I know little.
Okay,
Well,
that's fine.
Harris is kind of walking around. You also notice a couple others. One individual you do notice is Mr. Shadow, but you don't know him, so he doesn't really stick out to you per se. But he's just an individual kind of walking around, looking at some of the.
Not even a creepy vibe? Nothing?
Do you have Auspics?
No, I
Then
have
you can-
female premonition.
What you got is bullshit. No.
Yes, I'm Frank turning up.
Yeah, I don't know if William would be there or not. But Hightower can be if he wants to be.
Anyone mind if I have Frank show up? He's just everyone's favorite semi-famous lawyer. Totally nothing wrong with that.
Actually, Tatiana, that's right. Shoot. Roll me intelligence plus politics.
1 second. I need to open my thingy.
Or streetwise.
Streetwise. What do you get me for? Okay, politics. 1 sec. Oh, this is gonna suck. This is going to suck. It's not my best. Whew. Whoa. Okay. I got 5 successes.
The man standing watching that picture is known as Mr. Frank Shadowwave, famous criminal defense attorney. You actually personally know him even more because he has actually done several cases for the Prince of Gotham City himself and is apparently very famous for doing a very good job. He just seems to always know exactly what to say.
The legal loopholes he exploits are just utterly tremendous.
Okay. I think I disconnected there for a second. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, but have we actually met?
You've seen him around as like an acquaintance, like you've seen him here or there, like when the Prince was doing a case file not too long ago. But mostly you
You've
just know
probably
him
seen him.
as the
Yeah.
you know him as the Prince's lawyer, basically.
That's not what I'm asking. Have we been introduced?
No, you've never formally been introduced.
Okay, in that case, if he sees me there, I'll just give him a nod because I don't really know him. I just have seen him. And I will go and talk to Harris, who I somewhat know a bit. I mean, I've seen him twice, so. And
Indeed. Harris, actually, it was Harris and Blake who were recommended as definite people to bring along if you needed muscle. They were part of. Harris actually was there during the fight sequence that happened in your club. He just was unable to attend, and he did actually help fight off a few of them. He just wasn't there in character. So.
And then there is the Mr. Hightower, the handsome, charming mustache.
Do you just sneak up behind her?
Do I need? I assume Harris is just observing things as a distraction.
Yeah, you need something to kind of break your mind. William had some very troubling news for you the other night, and it's kind of hitting you hard. And you've come to the museum to kind of cool down a bit. You felt a bit of rage come up with you last night, but you're trying to calm yourself. And as for Mr. Hightower, do you sneak up behind her?
I don't sneak up from anyone. He doesn't
Okay.
sneak. And he can't sneak with that mustache.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm allergic to bullshit. Sorry. Okay.
It's fine. It's not like he has stealth 3, so yeah.
So, Hightower,
What's up?
you said
What do
were
you do?
entering-
He basically like goes and like comes near Tatiana.
How do you know she's
And he
there?
says,
Well, if you walked into the museum, he's in the exhibit, he can probably see you over there.
yeah, he's just gonna be like, I smelled you.
It's like, are you obfuscated?
There's lots of interesting smells going on.
Exactly. Hello, Tanya.
Hello, Nate. He will give
No.
him a hug and a kiss.
Long time no see.
Yeah, what has it been? 2 hours?
Yeah, probably.
How did it go?
It was quite fine. I kiss his ass a bit.
Oh, it's good to hear. So, have you met Mr. Harris? And he's walking towards his direction, by the way.
Mr. Harris.
Yes,
He looks at
Nathaniel.
Mr.
I'll give you a little background since like I said, since he wasn't in the session. You do remember Mr. Harris. You know a bit about what Mr. Harris might be. You did not see him shift or anything during the fight at the Velvet Rose. However, he picked up a guy and literally broke his back over his knee. So, you know he's got something.
Mhm. Mr. Harris, it is a pleasure to see you. I'm very happy that you are here.
What do people usually say? The pleasure's all mine. something like that.
Yes, they usually say stuff like that when they see me.
Yeah, I see you have sobered up and cleaned up. Good to see.
I just promised someone I'd stay clean for at least appearances.
Clean.
Here. Well, he had an encounter with Creed.
Ah, understandable.
Nathaniel, it's at this point that you notice the man from Elysium earlier staring at one of these exhibits, not too far from Harris and yourselves. Also, if you have Auspex still up, you notice something a little odd with Harris. His colors are mostly purple now, but there are some flares of red kind of coming around him. And you're seeing just a little bit of that red kind of waft off of him and move over to one of the exhibits.
You feel home here, Harris?
That would be a yes, Harris. Oh dear, he has had a stroke. In terms of Mr. Frank, all he sees with Auspex is the cover.
Sorry, I got lost there for a second. If anything happened,
Nathaniel Hightower asked you if you feel at home here, and yeah, you kind of surprisingly do.
yeah. Mm,
You feel at home here. Strange.
You notice the exhibit that's wafting off his energy. Appears to be an old pistol musket. It's in a glass display case, as museums and movies typically display. It looks very well kept and very well high quality. It's got a little bit of a red aura around it, which is odd because items typically don't hold emotional aura.
Tanya,
Yes?
have you ever heard about items having emotions?
Well, not really. I
Strange.
know people having emotions about items.
These, I feel like these amazing items have emotions. Quite strange.
not to intrude, but there are things that can make an item have an emotion. Particularly something within. The item in question. Where is it?
It's over to your right. It's in a nice little display case, kind of past a little bit of rope, and it's like I said, a very nice looking musket. Harris, you can roll me an intelligence. Roll me a wits plus intelligence plus primal urge. I know that's an odd roll, but go ahead and roll that.
Okay. So that's quite it. Let me get all my stuff. So my wits. So
Actually, I'm sorry. You're right. Intelligence occult primal urge.
that sucked.
Intelligence occult primal urge. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was reminded. Either way, I'll be nice and keep that roll, but go ahead and roll the other one too. Intelligence occult primal urge.
It's just 8d10 then.
Are these on sale?
Not publicly, but for someone
I rolled it,
as
but-
wealthy as you. By the way, Harris, yeah, this is a fetish.
um,
Oh,
I can't steal this, but it feels tempting. Well, I guess I would tell people who are curious about it that it is, in fact, a fetish. They are items infused with a spirit, usually by an Uratha itself. I speak quietly, of course.
Yeah, it's quite a bad habit to speak about such matters in public places where anyone could listen.
Nathaniel, the pistol is no longer there.
Oops.
Was it the only fucking fetish that I want to buy? Or is there a knife with like
Roll me a wits plus composure plus aspects. See if you notice anything else.
I'm gonna roll the shit out of that. I have 2.
There doesn't appear to be anything else in the area. However, Harris has told you that he knows how to make fetishes. Just reminding you.
Pardon? Can you say it again?
However, well, not Harris himself, but one of your allies has dropped the information that Harris can actually make fetishes.
The Nathaniel is just gonna go like point Tanya and Harris at like that gun is no longer there.
Harris, you feel something in your left jacket pocket.
I'm gonna look at that.
Okay? Do you actually pull it out, or you just feel?
I am feeling it. I am not.
It's a gun.
Damn it. I think I gotta go somewhere, and then he's just gonna walk off.
Okay, you two see Harris just start to just be like, "Yeah, I gotta go."
That's not immediately suspicious.
That's exactly what Nathaniel says. It's not immediately suspicious.
At this point, Frank is just sort of turning his head over towards what's he's just quite casually like looking between the people just over there. He just shakes his head, and he does seem amused, or at least he seems to be showing that he's amused.
Oh, that's just great. So, well, we're being observed.
By whom?
By the prince's lawyer.
Ah. Nathaniel will go near him. Come, let's go near him. I saw him in the place. He has a courage to shake, his head to me. Maybe he should have a courage to shake hand in front of my face. Let's go.
Fine, Mr. Harris, if you excuse us for a moment.
Harris already left.
Left? Okay, I didn't notice. Sorry.
Walked
yeah,
over, like
fuck.
maybe he looked back and like waved at you and just like zoomed, like went.
Yeah,
No,
Harris.
sorry, I
Yeah,
was looking for the gun.
yeah. Harris skadooshed, and you tried to look for the gun, and yeah, the gun's nowhere to be seen.
Great. Okay, well, let's go to the lawyer first. Great.
The Mr. Hightower will come near Mr. Shadow. He doesn't know his name. Hi, sir. I remember seeing you at the hotel.
Mr. Shadow,
Indeed. Hello. It's a pleasure.
good to finally meet you up close. My name is Tatiana Kravchenko. This is Mr. Nathaniel Hightower.
Nathaniel extends a hand.
Points of interest. What language is Kurchenko? Russian.
Ukrainian.
No. He's just going to shake, whoever's hands offered, and he says he just sort of smiles and says, "Well, it is a pleasure to meet you both. Though, are you enjoying the exhibits?"
We are. We saw someone shaking their head to us, so we curiously came here.
To you, around, but of course, I simply, well, recommend just a certain sense of discretion. That's about.
About? Discretion about what?
When one is discussing, shall we say, the kinkier side of things.
It's at this point that Mr. Hightower, Mr. Shadow, and Mrs. Kachenkov, there's no one in the room with you guys.
Old people fucked off.
Great.
I think we should fuck off. This seems like a final amazing trap.
Frank,
Yes.
you look down at your hand. For a split second, you see that it is cybernetic. And a spider is crawling out of your palm, and it jumps and leaps at you, trying to latch onto your face. And then it's gone.
Is this everyone seeing this, or is it just a hallucination?
Just you, Frank.
He makes no reaction whatsoever.
Roll me a... just roll me flat willpower, please.
May I ask as to why? Just as a...
Actually, you're right. Let me look at this. Roll me...
Because if it's like for no reaction...
Yeah, roll me wits plus subterfuge for no reaction.
No.
Composure.
That's actually guaranteed things for demons. They don't react unless
he's not going to react? Okay. Then, nothing.
Like, they control every little thing that they do because they are a mask, essentially.
All right. So you notice that, and you keep your composure.
Interesting. Well, about many things. The kinkier side of life, one finds that it's not exactly the best place to discuss such things in a library, perhaps, even if it's one such as empty as this.
I completely understand, but I just don't let other people decide what I do and what I think, so. Thank you for your recommendation, though. He passed him in the shoulder.
I can completely agree with that statement. Of course, all I can do is simply comment, or simply make no comments, because, yes. Well, there's a little... I suppose...
Hey, you three. You guys see a security guard come from around the corner, walk towards you guys. Hey, museum's closing early at night. We got to get everyone out of here.
Can you give me just a moment, sir?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir, but we need to get everyone out of here. Museum's closing.
Let's just go.
He withdraws 2 cards from his pocket, passes one to Tatiana and one to Nathaniel. Do call if you have ever any need of political defense, or have any desire to dodge any form of charges or punishment for your actions.
Are you only in defense?
I can't strike the other side. It's just there's often more money in defense.
I will keep this in mind. Thank you, fellow.
Contact information given.
Though there is a certain aspect. I might have perhaps a little something for the both of you. I might need a certain favor in exchange for something I'm sure that you'll be able to provide.
That will not be a problem, sir.
And you will be paid most excellently, don't worry. He just simply follows on, filters out through into the like out of the museum.
All right. Hightower, as you look at the security guard as you leave through Auspex, his color is just flat gray.
Flat gray, as in. Oh no! Do I feel he's a vampire?
If he was a
No,
vampire,
he's-
we both
No,
feel
no. If it was a vampire, you would have felt the beast. But no, he's not a vampire. His emotion is just utterly flat. No love, no pain, no sorrow, no rage, no nothing. Just
Twin?
actually, that's a good point. Nathaniel, being that you have experience with this, actually, if Tatiana had Auspex, she would have noticed this right away. Yeah, Nathaniel, he looks dominated.
Tanya,
Mm-hmm.
hon, these people look strange.
Yes, let's go. It has happened before.
Damn, I wanted those knives, but fine, let's go.
It's a museum, Nate. It's not an auction.
Fine, he says, and leaves with Tanya.
Aggressive typing.
Sorry. I've got a mechanical keyboard, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting to mute myself before I type.
Pharaoh, to answer your question, I won't even have you roll for that. You don't know. You're thinking, though, you know what it might be, though. But if that's the case,
I think it has something to do with that person from the Elysium.
perhaps. So as you three depart, I would like to take the scene to Harris. And then after I take the scene to Harris, I want William to jump in for just a bit, and then I'll end the session tonight. So, Harris, where do you go after the museum?
I'm here.
Where are you going, Harris? Huh, it's showing you still in there. Try this. Can you hear us, Harris?
Okay, now it's better. I don't know what's going on today, but it just like periodically drops you guys and then drops me.
Weird. Because it was showing you were still in the party. Where are you going
Yeah,
now?
I know. Not to the sushi bar because I don't want to. I don't want them to like see that I took something.
Harris, you hear a voice in your head.
All right.
What are you doing?
I'm walking. What are you doing?
Are you to be my wielder?
I have no idea what you are. Well, I get what you are, but I don't know who you are or what.
Clearly an inexperienced child of Luna. Why do I always get the ones that know nothing?
Well, nothing about you. I know plenty about Luna.
So then,
Mm-hmm.
are you willing to purge the city of this scum?
You need to be more specific.
Scum who prey on the innocent?
Not a comic book hero. But we can sure purge some scum if you want.
That sounds delicious.
And that's where I usually get like the weird deviantness from you. That's like the callback with some of you fetishes. You just do weird things like this. Delicious. Explain yourself.
In due time.
All right.
With that, is there anyone that would like to go ahead and drop for a sec to bring in a scene for William, and then that will be it for the session.
Sure.
Okay. William.
Yep.
It's been a long time, but it's been a long night. But your rally was a bit successful, more so than you thought. It seems that there are many in the city that are tired of the gang war and the horrible, distorted, twisted cities of Gotham. Those characters you will probably come to know as I eventually flesh them out and actually make some overlays. However, one in particular stood out to you, and he was one of the main warriors for the Red Talons, or Blood Talons, I'm sorry, as it's called. He was very impotent about taking care of this gang problem, and they are very impotent about getting rid of the Riddler first off. You eventually return to the bar very tired and very weary. And it's at this point that it's been literally a week. But you see Rachel for the first time in a week. William, how are you doing?
He's just gonna stare at her because Tatiana's been telling William that she might probably be a skin changer or skin thief. I forgot what she was. Sorry. Anyway. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yes,
How are
I heard
you?
about the incident with that mud thing. Took on my form and told lies to you. I was away for a bit. She looks a little
Where
bit
were you?
she looks a little bit upset. I had to go on short notice. I'm sorry, son. I really am.
Do you know where Mum is?
Yes, she is out hunting.
Of course.
She has been well. She
Good.
apologizes for not being able to be here, but we had things to do. There
Do you
is
even
much
know?
happening. There is much happening outside of Gotham right now.
Do you even know what's happening in Gotham right now?
She looks a little bit upset and she's like, "Yes, I heard."
He's kidnapping our people, doing horrible things to them.
Then he must die. What do you think your mother has been doing? We are trying to find him. And we will soon enough.
He
And when we
has
do,
to
judgment will be
suffer.
passed.
He has to suffer.
Yes, my son, he does, and judgment will be passed, but we must be patient. We have to find him first.
I want him to suffer for all the things he's done. The things I saw in that lab.
He will. He will. Come on, let me fix you something up. You look like hell.
I'll be fine. No need to worry. He will give her a fake smile.
I want you to know that all that those cruel things that were said about you and your friend, that was not me.
Don't worry about it. It's long gone in the past now.
She nods. Very well. And you proceed on into the bar, and the camera fades out to the pouring rain of Gotham City, where there is an individual hiding in the shadows upon the rooftops that no one can see. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another session in Gotham by Night. I will see you all next time. Peace.